Hey y'all, hi. Today, I guess it's trying new makeup. That's what we're calling it. An old school YouTube classic. We've been getting organized in the house, slowly but surely. Very slowly, but definitely surely. And part of that is organizing PR, giveaway stuff. It's just been a mess ever since we moved, humiliatingly, like half a year ago. But what that means is that, look at me with a labeled bin. I have managed to put makeup that's come in PR, makeup that I haven't tried yet into this bin. But because it's taken me so long to get organized, it's a real mix of stuff from a long time ago and recent stuff. So it's not like it's new to the market, fresh off the presses. It's just stuff I've been meaning to test and review and try on camera. So I'm going to go through putting on a face. For every step, I'm going to see if there's something in this bin that will work. And if there isn't, I'll just use my regular makeup. And that's what we're doing today. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Okay, first step, I have to get something on my dry lips, preferably something plumping. I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't looked through the bin yet. But there is a plumping product in here, and this is great. This is the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss, which I really like. I've been through an entire tube of the clear one, and then I haven't used it for a while because I used it up. I didn't realize that there was another color of it here in the Makeup to Test box. It's the shade Velvet. Let's see how pigmented it is. Okay, it's a bit on the pink side. I put a lot on. A lot came off on the wand when I pulled it out, as you could probably see. It's a bit on the pink side, but it's not too pigmented. I have to blot it. It is too much. Yeah, so you can see it's not too pigmented. And I actually think that even though I would maybe prefer to have the clear one for like a hybrid makeup skincare step, this functionally will be like a clear plumping gloss for me. So I'm going to keep this in my makeup bag. Just a touch of it. It doesn't make me look like I'm wearing a lipstick, but it does plump my lips a little bit. Okay, primer. There is a primer in here. It is the Grown Alchemist Skin Defense Primer. Apply to cleansed dry skin. It looks weird. It smells very herbal. Oh, okay, so it's just clear. You can see from how it looks coming out of the tube that it's going to be blurring, I think. It's cooling. What? Okay, I'm putting it on just half my face so we can try to see if it really is blurring. It's on this half. It doesn't actually look that blurring. In fact, it looks a little bit dewy, and it is extremely wet feeling, but it has soaked in and dried down. It's so strange. It doesn't feel mentholy, but it does feel very cooling. So I don't know what could possibly be doing that. It melted down to an extremely thin, cool, wet drench. It really kind of feels like I rubbed an ice cube briefly on my face and it melted to water, but it's like skincare water, like a skincare ice cube. There doesn't seem to be like a layer left behind. It didn't really do any smoothing. My skin feels extremely prepped for makeup, almost as if I used like a biphase serum or something, really skin prepping, but it's more about prepping the skin than about creating a makeup surface or like a barrier. It's really interesting. But my skin does feel nice and soft now that it's kind of calmed down a little bit and soaked in, and the weird intense cooling sensation has backed off. Put it on the other side. Yeah, a very strange and totally unexpected texture. It starts out feeling thick and almost silicone-y, quite like an old school silicone primer like Benefit Professional. That's how it feels, and that's what it feels like it's going to be. But on contact with the skin, it keeps melting and melting and melting until it feels like it's melted all the way down to the thinness of an actual water or a watery essence. It feels like it's really mentholy cooling kind of on the skin. And then the finish at the end, the amount that it soaks in and what it leaves behind, I just had a coughing fit, and it was that kind of coughing fit where it feels like you inhaled something. It might have just been a dust mote floating in the air. It probably was. But it reminds me to say that it does have a really herbal scent, like the kind of thing you might associate with Aesop or something, you know, like a kind of high-end spa-like scent that I actually like. And it makes it feel very fancy. And the metal tube and the font and everything makes it feel really fancy. I actually like a lot about this product. I don't think that it's what made me cough, but I thought I should mention it. What I was about to say is that the finish that it leaves behind is that of a watery essence in terms of how much is left on the skin. And then as it dries, it ends up almost powdery. What a weird combination of qualities in a product. This is way more interesting than I expected it to be, and I'm curious to see how makeup goes on top of it. All right, I need to shape my brows a little bit. There's nothing brow related in the Makeup to Test bin, so I'm just going to throw on the brows I've been doing lately. So lately I've just been using a brow gel to shape them, and I used the one from Refi today because that was the one that I found first, and then a little bit of pencil to define underneath the front and underneath the arch, and then a little bit of the the tail, but I've been just trying not to fill in too much and go overboard too much. There have been a lot of occasions lately for which I have wanted to put on like a tiny bit of makeup to go out and do something, but I haven't had very much time. And so I've just been doing a little bit of base and a little bit of brows. That's what I've been doing. Really just trying to use a light hand to define because I haven't dyed them in a long time. So they do need a little bit of definition, but I also just don't want to deal with going overboard and doing a bunch of meticulous work, especially with almost no other makeup on my face. So that's going to be it for brows for today. I used the Merit pencil, by the way. That's the one that I used for that brown black. I really like it. It just gets used up super quickly. Oh, this was not actually in the box, but it is something I've been trying and haven't talked about on camera yet. I'm so glad that I remembered. One of you actually recommended this to me, and I think I forgot about it until ILIA sent it to me. And then when I was looking at it and I saw the name Hinoki, it's the lightest shade of the Skin Rewind Complexion Stick 1N. I remembered reading about it in a comment at some point. So far, I really like it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell just from my meow. I don't know if you'll be able to tell just from these cat whiskers, but I feel like I can tell as soon as I start applying it that it's kind of a tint level coverage. It's not super high coverage, which I feel like for a stick is not usual. Like usually a stick like this, you're getting a ton of coverage and you have to choose how much you apply basically and how thin you spread it. This, it's just a very unintimidating, not tint level, a light level, but then it's got the stiffness and kind of sturdiness of a stick foundation. And I really, really like that. Blend it out with a brush. So yeah, blending out, especially with a fluffy brush like this. This is the LC03. It's one of Rephr's fluffy synthetic brushes. Really pretty mild coverage, right? Definitely didn't cover the scars and blemishes. It's really helping my skin to match the rest of my body better. The skin on my face, which is pretty red today. It blends in really well. It looks really natural. Side note, the primer didn't give it any trouble. And I feel like a stick foundation like this that you really have to buff in with a brush, that's the true test of whether a primer is going to pill or not, and it didn't pill. I think they're actually working pretty well together. I just think that that's beautiful. It's a less emollient stick than the Merit, just in case you're comparing the two. I feel like it's like similar brands, similar places in the market. It's less emollient than Merit. It requires like a little more work to blend, and then it's just really sturdy and really stuck to the face. I've been liking it a lot. Because of the coverage level, I feel like I have to go in with more when I use it. But then it builds on itself really well. Doesn't get cakey. Like layers of it blend in just the same as if you had applied that much to begin with. You know, yeah, my skin, it just ends up feeling really skin-like and really unsmudgeable. Like it really feels stuck to the skin. It's thinner than Merit's Minimalist. It's a lot less emollient. I end up with a much drier face basically than I do when I use the Minimalist. I like that in a way because it feels sturdier. I really like how thin and almost like permanent it feels. Like it's unbelievable actually how much it has become one with my skin and how much it doesn't feel like a layer on top of the skin. I like that. I have dry skin though, and so I do like the emollient qualities of the Minimalist and how incredibly skin-like and creamy the finish looks. So it's pros and cons. And I feel like there are some days when I'm glad to have the Minimalist and there's some days when I'm really excited to reach for this. My forehead is really dry though. Hopefully you can see that. And I have this, my toddler scratched my forehead. That's what that mark is right there. So my forehead's a real mess right now. That has nothing to do with this product. I think any complexion product would be grabbing onto those dry patches because I haven't exfoliated the skin on my forehead. I didn't do it before I filmed. Indeed, my other concealers and complexion products all week have been doing that because I just haven't taken the time, okay? I could do something about that, but I'm not going to, at least not right now, because I want to move on with the video. Perfection is an illusion. I'm going to spot conceal a little bit though. I wonder if this would be an effective spot concealer. It's okay. It's okay. That kind of semi-tint like level of pigment in it, I feel like it works better all over the complexion. I'm going to use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. The shade is decent. The color, I would say it's a little bit pink. I would like it to be more neutral, more gray, more green. Yeah, like a little bit on the peach side for me, but the shade, like the value of it is quite good. I've had the most success with this when I've used it on top of a green color corrector. And now that I think about it, I bet it would be really good mixed with one of the Merit complexion sticks because it's, I think, lighter than either of the lightest shades from Merit. They are a little bit more neutral and one of them even pulls kind of yellow. So this mixed with that might be something to try. But for today, I'm glad I was able to tell you about that. The remarkable thing about it is its thinness, just how it's almost like it sinks into the skin, but it still provides coverage. I like this primer with this. I've ended up with, you know, very even brightened skin compared to how it was when I sat down here. I truly feel like there's nothing on my skin. I feel that way from my face feels that that way to me. And when I touch it with my hands, it feels physically like there's nothing on my skin and like I'm not going to disturb what's there with my hands. That's why I keep touching my face, just to show you how bulletproof these two products have made my skin together. It's really impressive, exciting, because that's what I'm after. That's the kind of thing that I want. Okay, it's time for the fun. Color cosmetics. I've got to tell you, I've been feeling a little bit adventurous. Like I've been really yearning for the clean complexion without visible makeup on it. No sculpting, no intense, like full beat, no contour and all of that stuff. And not too heavy of brows. You know, basically just what this is now. Pretty bare and skin-like, but evening out the redness and the spots. And then like one element of play. I've just been craving to have like one little element of play, just to hang on a little bit to the sense of fun without it going into that realm of me feeling like a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit clown-like, you know, for me when I go out. I just have been wanting to get back to having something, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know, on the face. So what's in here that'll do that for me? Oh, I have these Clionadh eyeshadows from a long time ago. I think that they were PR associated with the Creators and Friends trip. It's really hard to get these to show up on camera because they're very multichromatic. So the light has to hit from all of these different angles to show all of the ways that they reflect. We've got a lot of diffuse lighting directly on me here, so it's kind of hard to get those angles. But hopefully through the mirror, you could see the way that these completely change color from different angles. Let me give you some swatches. So this is Electron, Exothermic, Alloy, and Ascension. Wow. Electron, Exothermic, Alloy, Ascension. I think I'm going to use Alloy, the third one. I was thinking I didn't want green. It only looks green from one angle. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit of it on my lids and see how green it ends up looking. I feel like I need primer. That's the primer from Alter Ego. Yeah, I feel like Alloy is the grungiest, and we know that that's what I want. I want a little wink wink, you know? I don't want it to end up feeling like too much for me to really happily just wear through the rest of my day. So I'm just with my finger going to tap it in a diffuse way all over my lids. I want it to kind of be like the night sky with stars rather than like a thick application. Okay, I did the night sky with stars application all over the lid from lash line all the way to brows. That was definitely the move. I mean, it looks really nice and subtle and really wearable. I'm just going to take it a little bit further than that though, because those swatches were so extraordinary and I feel like it can do so much. I don't want to sell it too short. Okay, I used my finger again to build it up just a little bit more thickly, kind of in a column in the center of the eyelid, most of the way up to my brow. Yeah, that's going to do it. A bit ethereal, a bit of fun, but not more than I can take here in my humdrum life. Okay, I really want to finish this with mascara. What's in here? Frankly, I'm loath to open a new mascara. I have ILIA Limitless Lash in here. I know this is really good. I already know it's really good. And I don't want to open it because I'm so enjoying the mascaras that I have open right now. The ones from Amicole and Caliray. I feel like if I open the one from ILIA, then I'll just continue to use these. And then the ILIA one, which is really great and which I would love to have like 3 months from now, it'll just age in the bottom of my makeup bag while I use these. And I don't want that to happen. Let's go with caliray. Let's go with the wispy joys of the caliray mascara. Caliray? It's probably caliray. I'm scraping it off. This has been my thing with mascara lately. In fact, I'm even going to wipe more of it off, just a little bit. So wiping most of the mascara off gives me this kind of dry, raspy application, very natural. It still lengthened my lashes. It just kept them a bit more aligned with like the light application of the rest of the makeup, the light application of the eyes. It's kind of the equivalent of Spangly Starry Night shiny eyeshadow application for lashes, like for mascara, if that makes sense, which it probably doesn't. I really like this kind of light, natural, but defined lash look with these shiny lids. It's great. It's a little bit artistic. I feel a little bit adventurous, but still I feel like myself and I feel like I look like myself and my face looks like itself. And I'm not trying to kind of go in costume. I like it actually a lot better than I thought that I would. Come on, Clionadh. Okay, while I was digging in here, I found the Phytosurgence bronzer that I can't believe I haven't tried yet. This is what has been the result of the house being so chaotic. I was so excited to try this when Phytosurgence sent this to me and I first opened it because it's such a great shade. Really hard and therefore very natural rosy cream bronzer. That's basically my dream blush shade. I can't believe that this has been wasting away waiting for me to try it. I'm going to use this little Rephr brush, the LCO2. Hopefully the muscles will be stiff enough for this. All right, it's such a stiff cream that I didn't think a little bit would go a long way, but it does. A little bit has gone a lot further than I expected it to, which means that I ended up really bronzing, like bringing it all over both of my cheeks, kind of from the cheekbone all the way to close to the nose, on my nose, and all over my forehead to balance out like the application that I got when I first touched. I brushed to my cheek because I didn't want to have like a really strong bronze cheek and then not have the other parts of my face where the sun would touch be bronzed. When I first put it on, I was like, oh, it is pulling a tiny bit orange on me. But now that it's fully applied all over my face, I actually feel like it looks really natural. I could probably stand for it to be a shade less orange, a shade more of a red for the most part. I mean, really wearable and just so gratifying, so enjoyable to apply. And it is undeniable that I look extremely healthy compared to how I looked before and that it looks really natural. I feel like I need to keep playing with this, wear it with different makeup looks. This brush I think did work well with it. I'm going to keep the two of these with my everyday makeup and keep playing with it. I think there's a chance I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I can't wait to wear that Phytosurgence bronzer again. But I'm curious to see if that happens and how it ends up wearing on different days, given that my very, very first impression was that it was pulling a little bit more orange than the like truly rosy gray bronzers that I've enjoyed before. What do you guys think? Do I just have bronzer trauma? Whenever I put one on, I think it's pulling orange, or did you see that little bit of orange that my green skin was pulling out of it when I first put it on? And do you see it now? Maybe because there's a green flip in the eyes too. It added to it. And now I can't stop looking at my cheeks and I really like it. What's left? Box of mystery items. Lips. Okay, the only real lip products in here that are like try me, you know, like in Alice in Wonderland with the little tag on, are these NARS products, and I don't know if I'll like any of them, especially not with this lip. So let's see how the swatches look. This is the NARS Afterglow Sensual Shine Lipstick in Truth or Dare. A beautiful color, but maybe, I mean, it would make it quite a strong look. And I don't tend to like green eyes with red lips, like red-orange lips. It's just like a little more editorial than I feel like being today. But the other two options are the Afterglow Lip Balm in Laguna, which is just, that is gonna look orange on me. I think I wanna give that away. And this is a Sensual Shine Lipstick in Orgasm. I actually think that's probably the best bet, even though it's a little pink for me. How about I put on Truth or Dare so we can see what it looks like? And then I'll probably take it off and wear something else. Okay, so this is the NARS Sensual Shine Lipstick in the shade Truth or Dare. First of all, I don't really like the formula. It's really thin and not very pigmented. It feels like a lip oil stick. I would rather something this thin be with a doe foot applicator that you dip into a tube. It's melting away. I feel like it's gonna be gone in 2 seconds. And because it's so thin, it doesn't feel like it's nourishing the lips. It just feels like they tried to do too much at once and missed all of the boats, you know? It's weird. It feels like this is a lipstick. This one is supposed to be a lip treatment. Balm. This feels to me like a lip balm that's not very nourishing. It doesn't really feel like a lipstick at all. And the color I actually quite like, but not with this makeup look at all. It's really bringing out the green in the eyes. I don't like anything about what it's doing with the rest of the face. Take it away, my toddler. When we take something away from him because he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing, like if he's banging his glass at lunch and he knows it's a bridge too far. When we take the cup away, he says, take it away. Take it away. He even sometimes says it before we take it away because he knows what's coming. He's like, bang, bang, bang. Take it away. So here's Laguna in the Balm, the Afterglow Lip Balm. I like this formula a lot better. I have to layer it on more, but it feels ultimately like it builds up to be something thicker and a little bit more nourishing. I actually don't mind the color. Maybe because, no, there wasn't really residual red, though. It's like rosier than I expected it to be. Usually Laguna lip products end up looking kind of like sickly orange on my lips, but this looks kind of like a nice rosy brown. I like this way better than I thought that I was going to based on the swatch. This still isn't my favorite tinted lip balm. I mean, I've done a whole search, a multi-video search for the best tinted lip balm. I like something that's a lot thicker, a lot more nourishing, maybe a tiny bit less pigmented. Of the three, this might be the one that I like the best. I am going to try the other one though. Take it away. And here we have the Sensual Shine Lipstick in Orgasm. How dare they call this a lipstick? It's so weird that they're calling this a lipstick. The pigment is barely there. I have to build and build and build. And then the product is barely there. It's definitely just a whisper of a lip oil. And then this one ended up really frosty, like really frosty. I don't hate it. With the right look, with something much softer, if I had much less on the rest of my face, I could see it being an interesting, really juicy kind of youthful star of the show on the lips. But for me, for today, I'm going to go back to Laguna. Take it away. Can't stop, won't stop. All right, there's the finished look. Pretty successful. Kind of a bronzy cheek and lip, which I wasn't expecting. Some excitement on the eyes. Do any of these stand out to me as like forever Forever products, keepers, maybe the bronzer. Actually, my fears of it going orange have dissipated since that initial moment. It does kind of feel like the prettiest blush ever at this moment. I love how skin-like it becomes. I feel like the success of today, there are two. One is that very light application of a pretty dramatic eyeshadow, just for a little bit of fun and creativity, you know, in the everyday. But the other is the base, everything about the base. The primer, honestly, the ILIA stick, and then the bronzer. Like everything that's on my face just feels like a dream, super sturdy, very thin and integrated way of evening out my complexion. And I like that combination and I'm going to keep playing with it. And everything else is kind of like, it was fun. It was fun. Thank you for being here and spending this time with me. I can definitely do this again. There's more where this came from, right? So do let me know in the comments if you would like that. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.